All right, guys. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to go over the definition of owner financing and why owner financing can beat the bank, meaning it's a better deal for you as the buyer. So before we go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the definition of owner financing and then I'll explain it. So owner financing means you buy the land directly from the seller and make payments to them over time instead of going through a bank. It's simple. The seller acts as the bank. You make a small down payment, agree on monthly terms, and get to start using the land right away. Once it's fully paid off, the seller transfers the deed into your name and you officially own it free and clear. This is enforced by a land contract. There's usually no credit checks and no banks. So that's the thing. This part right here, the land contract, is very important because that is the protection that you have between the buyer and the seller. And this should be a good contract. And you can have your buyer's attorney, like if you have an attorney, you can have them review it. Or if you work with like a land company, they have standard land contracts, which make it very easy. And you can have your own attorney review this if you feel like you need to. So, a couple of perks with owner financing is you buy directly from the seller. It's you and the seller of the land, and that's it. There's no banks. You make monthly payments over time. You get to use the land immediately, and you receive the deed after your final payment. So, this is often like a really simple and flexible way. And I've purchased tons of property on owner financing myself, and it's probably one of my favorite tools. Because it's just you get so much flexibility and power, and you're not just having to say, "Oh, okay, I'll pay this fee from this bank." When you go to closing. So, next, let's cover why owner financing beats the bank. So, the first thing is it's usually a little bit more relaxed on the credit checks, income verification, and there's no loan officer asking you your personal information like, oh, do you have to make this payment? What is your car payment? What else do you own? And all these like invasive questions that doesn't exist with owner financing unless you're buying like a very very expensive property like a few $1 million. Then yes, there are going to be credit checks because they're not going to just the seller's not going to do owner financing on a few $1 million property if you're not willing to pay, if you're not able to make payments over time. So that makes it easy, right? Especially if you don't have the best credit, and even if you do, like it's just that helps out a lot of people because sometimes they might not have the best credit, and that's usually what stops them from owning real estate. So the next thing is low down payments and flexible terms. This can be a negotiation usually when you're doing a owner financing agreement. You can negotiate the time of the loan. Like if you can say, hey, can I make payments over 15 years or 10 years or 5 years? Or can you reduce the interest? These are all things that you can negotiate. And the thing is, there's less fees, right? You're not going to have to pay a loan origination fee from a bank or all these random fees that show up in a traditional real estate transaction. So the fourth thing is you can start using your land immediately, right? Usually, if you like a property and you're going through the traditional process, there's a little bit of a waiting game, right? And if speed is important to you, all it is coming to an agreement with the seller, signing the land contract, and making your first payment. And you're in business. You're like you own the land. The last thing is you deal directly with the seller, right? It's very simple, especially if both people are on the same page. It's reducing the number of parties in a transaction, and you work directly with the seller.